Welcome to The Explainer, where we break down the big ideas. Today, we're jumping into a really powerful thesis about how we as humans can not just survive, but actually thrive in a world that's, more and more dominated by AI. The secret? It's not just about the tools, it's about the minds that wield them.
So let's start with the big question. In this race between humans and machines, who's actually winning? We hear it all the time, right? AI is getting smarter, faster, processing data at speeds we can't even imagine. The whole story feels like this unstoppable march toward machine superiority. But is that the whole story? Let's really dig into this.
Because, in the super high-stakes, data-obsessed world of finance, something really interesting is happening. Human hedge fund managers? They're starting to beat the machines. Yeah, I'm serious. The big quant funds like AQR and Two Sigma, these giants known for their incredible algorithms, are actually losing to human stock pickers. And get this, one firm, a $96 billion firm, had to literally shut down its AI fund because while it was making money, nobody could figure out how. It was a total black box. It really seems like good old-fashioned human intuition is making a comeback.
So what is going on here? What's the fundamental weakness of relying only on these incredibly smart tools? Well, Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan, just nails it with this quote. He says, models are backward-looking. The future isn't the past. And that's it right there. They're brilliant at seeing patterns in what's already happened. But the one thing we can count on is that the future, well, it loves to break the rules.
And that idea brings us to the very heart of the problem. We can call it the uncertainty principle. It's this critical distinction that explains why even the smartest, most sophisticated models can just completely fall apart. Okay, so here's the key idea. Risk is something you can actually calculate. Think of it like knowing the odds at a poker table. You know the rules, you know the probabilities. But uncertainty, that's a whole different beast. Uncertainty is when you don't even know what game you're playing. It's the world of the true unknowns, the big surprises that no amount of past data could ever prepare you for.
And this is exactly what Dr. Yogesh Malhotra's work highlights so well. Navigating the world today isn't just about managing risk. It's about staring deep, fundamental uncertainty right in the face. And that's precisely where these purely data-driven models, with their eyes glued to the rearview mirror, really start to stumble. It turns out that real opportunity and profit, they live in that messy, ambiguous space.
So if the algorithms on their own can't handle real uncertainty, what's the answer? Well, the solution isn't to just throw our tools away. Nope. It's about creating a whole new kind of partnership, one that puts smart minds firmly back in the driver's seat.
And this isn't some new idea cooked up yesterday. Over 15 years ago, way before the current AI craze, Dr. Malhotra laid out this exact vision. He said, the real edge, the real competitive performance won't come from just having the cool new tech. It'll be determined by smart minds using smart technologies. And notice the emphasis there. It's all about the smart minds. They're the strategic force, not just the person pushing the buttons.
This chart just lays out the difference perfectly. Look, our tools are amazing at what they do. They process data, they find patterns, they follow the rules based on everything that's happened before. But smart minds? We do something else entirely. We construct meaning. We make sense of confusing situations. We use our intuition and imagination to actually think forward into that uncertain future.
And being a smart mind isn't just about your IQ score. It's a really active, hands-on process. It means you critique the information the machine spits out, you don't just take it as gospel. It means you're always updating your own understanding as the world shifts. You're the one who makes sense of the chaos. And, this is a big one, you work to overcome your own biases to see things as they really are.
And thinking about it this way just completely reframes the whole conversation. It shifts us away from that gloomy dystopian view of AI taking over everything, and instead positions us, humans, as the essential creative force. The goal isn't to be replaced, the goal is to design, master, and ultimately outsmart our tools, so we don't become what Henry David Thoreau warned against, the tools of our tools.
All right, so this all sounds great in theory, right? But this mindset isn't just some academic idea. It actually has a proven track record for, outsmarting the future. Let's take a look at what this looks like in the real world.
So here is the crucial shift in thinking. You have to stop trying to create the perfect 5-year plan. The world is just too unpredictable for that. Instead, as Dr. Malhotra was arguing way back in 1999, the real goal is to build the ability to respond to surprises. It's about creating a flexible model built around the anticipation of surprise. And you can see this mindset in action right here. This isn't about having a crystal ball to predict stock prices. It's about seeing these huge systemic shifts before they become obvious, like publishing on the weaknesses of a key financial risk model right before the regulators started looking at alternatives, or predicting the end of a major web encryption standard weeks before Google made their big announcement, or seeing the coming quantum computing arms race in finance months before the Financial Times wrote about it. See the pattern? That's what anticipating surprise looks like.
This quote, this gets right to the soul of what makes human insight so unique and powerful. Emmanuel Derman, who's a legendary quant himself, said this when describing another pioneer, Fisher Black. Intuition is a merging of the understander with the understood. It's not just a lucky guess, it's this deep, almost seamless, gut-level grasp of a subject, and that is something you just can't program.
And this idea of partnership isn't new at all. Believe it or not, it's over 60 years old. Back in 1960, a computing visionary named J.C.R. Licklider wrote about this future of man-computer symbiosis. He saw that the ultimate advantage wasn't going to be man versus machine, but man with machine, a partnership that could think in ways that neither could ever do alone. And wow, has that vision ever become more relevant than it is right now?
So, let's bring this all home. Where does this leave us? I think the key takeaway here is that we have to challenge our whole definition of what it means to be smart. In an age where a machine can know every fact from the past, maybe being smart isn't about having all the answers anymore. Maybe it's about knowing how to ask the right questions. It's about challenging our assumptions, creating meaning out of chaos, and having the courage to navigate that beautiful, messy, unpredictable world of uncertainty. That is the human edge.